Hey, welcome to Philanthropic Tissues. Here we talk about plant, process, and people. If you like the content of our videos, I'll recommend you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button to get more of this. Today we're talking about mastering the role of a plant project manager. We're going to explore the strategies for success in this role. What is plant project management in its sense? In the realm of plant project management, understanding the foundational principles is essential. But what is plant project management? Is it about managing the entire plant? No, then you probably the business manager or the operations manager of the plant or whatever functional capacity you might be managing at the plant. But plant project management is, in essence, project management of plant projects. It's that simple. There's no big deal to it. So, people like to describe themselves as engineering project managers, IT project managers, construction project managers. Plant project managers can be any of these things. It just depends on what the functional area of your project is, right? And to succeed in this capacity, you just need to have project management skills. You need to have business management skills. Then you need to have people management skills. That's to simplify it. Now, this presentation will explore the key strategies and skills that contribute to the effective project management in plant operations, ensuring successful outcome of efficient processes. Okay? Right. Now, if any of you had gone through any PMP trainings in the past, you would recall something called the PMI talent triangle. It talks about the technical project management skill, the leadership skill, the strategic and business management skill have been the combinatory skills that you need to be a good project manager. The technical project management refers to ways of working. How does project management work? The leadership skill is the power skill. How do you influence people to do something? How do you motivate people to work? How do you get people to do something without necessarily forcing them to work? Then your strategic and business management skill, we're talking about your business acumen. We're going to explore the different aspects of these as we go through this course to see how you can apply these various skills to manage your plant projects successfully. What are the key responsibilities? A plant project manager is responsible for overseeing project planning, execution, and completion. If you've looked at the PMBOK, the PM Body of Knowledge Guidebook, you would remember that Project Management Institute, PMI, like to lay out the project management process, the project delivery process, as starting from the project initiation through project planning onto project execution, and then involves monitoring and control of the project, and then you close out the project. This is what the plant project manager does, in essence. The plant project manager is involved in initiating plant projects. It's involved in planning the project. It's involved in overseeing the execution of the project, monitoring and control the execution process to keep the project on track, and ensuring that the project is properly closed. What is a project? When we say project, are we talking about the day-to-day running of the plant? No. Are we talking about the guys who are constantly coming to work every day to keep the plant functioning? The guys who constantly go in there to do the daily checks on the valves, on the pipe, on the machineries and stuff? No, that's not. A project is a temporary endeavor that has a specific objective, has a definite start date and a definite end date. In other words, projects do not run indefinitely. The plant could run indefinitely if you apply proper maintenance principles to the plant equipment. You can run it indefinitely if you like. Well, not in stays forever, but yeah, in that sense of indefinitely for a very long time. But projects are not like that. Projects have definite start dates. They have definite end dates. The date may slip, the date may be delayed, but yeah, it's definitely going to end. At the time you start the project, you're looking at the end of the project. Projects are established for a specific reasons, not just for the purpose of creating a project, for a specific objective, for a specific goal to be met. Projects in a plant could include, for example, the need to to replace a certain section of the plant. They need to replace a certain equipment portion. They need to improve a certain process in the plant. This could be a project, but that project will have a definite start date. That project will have a definite end date for it to be a project. And it must have a special purpose that it must meet. Because at the end of the project, meeting the special purpose within a budget, meeting the special purpose within a specified time, and meeting the special purpose to the required quality is what you will use to define that this project is successful. Right. So a plant project manager is responsible for overseeing the project planning, the execution, and completion. Key duties performed by this manager include managing resources. When we talk resources here, we're talking about human resources and non-human resources. We're talking about managing people. We talk about managing machineries. We talk about managing equipment. We talk about managing tools. We talk about managing material resources. Is also involved in ensuring compliance with regulations. The quality aspects of that project, of projects, would most of the time go beyond just what the client or what the plant owners want. Plants operate within regulatory frameworks, and those regulations need to be met when the project is being delivered, is being performed to deliver that specific plant deliverable. For instance, if the plant process involves installing, say, setting up a new facility within the plant to support certain new machinery you're going to bring in, that project is going to generate waste. You must manage your waste within the regulatory framework that governs the plant operation. The documentation that you're going to apply need to show that some materials or the process has been tested to a certain level of rigor. The plant project manager ensures compliance with these regulations. The plant project manager also ensures that effective communication is maintained with stakeholders to meet project objectives. This is vital for every plant project. Stakeholder engagement, stakeholder satisfaction. Projects always or often fail because stakeholders are not properly engaged. If you are not effectively communicating with the stakeholders, you may miss out in understanding what the stakeholders want. Who are the stakeholders? I'm going to do another, I'm going to do another presentation for project management, or maybe another one for project engineering. Another one, I'm going to also focus on stakeholder management itself in another presentation, right? But who are stakeholders? Stakeholders are basically anyone that is impacted by or is impacting the project. The team members are stakeholders. The people who are going to benefit from the outcome of the project are stakeholders. The guys, the department in your plant that is going to be using the deliverable of your project, these are stakeholders. The guys that are going to be paying for the project, the sponsors, those are stakeholders. The project manager is a stakeholder. The community in which this project is being performed are stakeholders. Some stakeholders will be affected, might be affected negatively. Some people might lose their job because of projects. Some people will be affected positively. Some people's businesses might blossom because of this project. It's the responsibility of the plant project manager to identify these stakeholders, who they are, and to seek to satisfy them so that they are not adversely impacting the project, thereby delaying the project completion. People get mad when they hear about projects they don't like, and people pick up placards and just walk the street and disrupt things. Disrupt the process, disrupt the project. Project stakeholders can be the reason why projects end prematurely. So it's very important that the plant project manager knows how to communicate, how to keep people in touch. Know what your stakeholders want. What do they need? Do they need steady information? Do they need in-depth information? Do they just need to be aware that something is going on? What level of information do they need? How much communication do they like? What forms of communication do they prefer? Do they like emails? Do they like information radiators? Just put it on a notice board and let everyone see it. Do they want you to call them on the phone? You need to figure this out. Okay, now we're still talking about effective communication. Strong communication skills are vital for plant project managers, like I have said before. These include active listening, clear messaging. You don't send woolly messages. You send messages that are brief and straight to the point and make sense. Timely updates. Like I said, you want to know what the project stakeholders need. Give them information on time. Good information can be useless if given late. So you need to give timely updates to ensure that all team members and stakeholders are aligned. People need to be aligned with what's going on in the project. You don't want to get to the end and find out that, oh, shoot, you've been going in the opposite direction of what the stakeholders want. Or some part of your team are working to the right and some part of your team are working to the left, and there is no algebraic some progress. To put it that way mathematically. Okay, so they are aligned and informed throughout the project life cycle. Again, I said I'm going to make another presentation on these in more in-depth explanation of stuff. So project life cycle, yeah, basically referring to the time from the inception of the project to the time to the end, the time at the end of the project. That's the life cycle of that project. From the time you started initiating the project through the time you're planning it, you're executing it. All right. So that is that for communication. A part of the communication process also helps you to proactively identify risk on the project. We usually say the risk of a project is largest at the beginning when there is so much uncertainty. There is so much you don't know about the market. There is so much you don't know about the people you're working with. There is so much you don't know about the process. There is so much you don't know about the deliverable you are trying to produce. But as the project becomes progressively more elaborated, as you start the project, you begin to understand more. You begin to uncover more risk. So you need to do proper risk planning at the beginning. You need to do continuous risk monitoring. You need to apply the proper risk responses to your project as the project goes on. So employing project risk management strategies helps to anticipate potential obstacles and roadblocks. So it allows the project manager to develop contingency plans, risk management plans. How are you going to combat this risk? What is a risk? I want you to think, what is a risk? A risk is the likelihood of something to happen and the result of that thing if it happens. All right, so I'm sitting in this chair. What is the likelihood? What is the chance? What is the probability that I'm going to fall off this chair? If I fall off this chair, what's going to be the impact? Risk is inherent in everything we do. The situation or the conditions surrounding the thing you do, the environment in which you're doing what you're doing, can define the chances of this thing, of these uncertain events happening. And if they happen, what is the potential? It's pretty low risk for me to fall sitting in this chair. It's pretty low risk. The chances that I'm going to fall are very slim unless someone comes to push me. The risk that I'm going to fall off this chair without someone pushing me is very slim. The risk that I'm going to get injured if I eventually fall off this chair is very slim because I'm way closer to the ground. My potential energy right now is low. But if I was to stand at the top of a skyscraper, for example, without railings by the side, let's add another factor. It gets windy and it's blowing heavily. There's a high chance that I could get blown off that roof, right? Okay, that's the probability. It just increased astronomically because the condition changed, because the situation changed. All right. If I fall off that roof, what is the chance that I'm going to die? It's almost 100%. So the combination of the probability that this is going to happen and the impact is what makes the risk what it is. Some instances you could have high chances you're going to fall, but low chances you're going to get injured. Low chances you're going to fall. But let's say you put a lot of broken bottles around this chair where I'm sitting now, and yeah, a lot of sharp stuff, sharp nails, pokey stuffs. Then there's a high chance that if I fall, even though I'm sitting in this chair with a low probability of falling, if I fall, I'm going to get injured. The risk just increased. So you can have low chance, high impact, low chance, low impact, high chance, high impact, and high chance, low impact. So that's why I'll talk about risk management in another presentation. Just hit the subscribe button. You'll get all this when they come out. All right. But being able to manage risk will help the project manager to increase the certainty of meeting the project objectives within the budget set out for the project and within the time set out for the project. That's why risk management is very important for project management. Resource allocation. You see that body right there? He's standing on the wall. It's like, okay, for this project where we're going to replace this machinery, we're going to need 2 carpenters to erect scaffolds, scaffold erecting, 2 carpenters. We're going to need 3 welders to weld the pipes. We're going to need 3 pipe fitters. We're going to need 1 millwright. We're going to need 3 helpers. We're going to need a fire wash. We're going to need a safety officer. It's allocating resources. It's the job of the plant project manager to identify the resource need of every project and to effectively allocate them. It's not enough to just assign people. You need to look at the entire project life, because you don't want to hire people, fire them, and hire them tomorrow, right? You want to be sure you hire them and you keep a consistent stream of resources flowing. So you want to do resource smoothing. You want to do resource leveling, whichever one applies best in your situation. But you want to make sure that your resources are effectively and optimally engaged and utilized in the project. You want to ensure that you have the right people. You want to ensure you have the right material at the right time. You must be able to balance this to efficiently and effectively utilize them to increase productivity on your project and reduce waste. You don't want to hire people and keep them. You're paying them. They're not doing anything. You don't want to bring material and stack them somewhere they're getting damaged and you're not ready to use them yet. And then by the time it's time to use them, by the time you get to use them, they're damaged. Now you got to buy new stuffs. So you need to factor all this into consideration as a project manager. Team leadership. Team leadership. A successful plant manager must exhibit strong leadership skills. This involves motivating the team, fostering a collaborative environment, and resolving conflicts to maintain focus on project goals and enhance team performance. Leadership. What is leadership? Leadership is not management. Your boss is your boss because he's your manager. But if your boss needs you to perform more effectively, your boss needs to become a leader. Leadership is about how your boss is able to get you to be motivated. How is he able to influence you to keep your morale high so that even though you're being paid for this job, even though you are being paid for the job, yet you don't like the job, but you will do it happily. It takes skills. It takes communication. It takes team building ability. It takes the ability to mold people. It takes the ability to develop people. In other words, you need to be a people's person as a project manager. If you can't be that person, I don't know what you will be. To be a project manager, you need to be able to connect with people, to relate with people, to influence people, to motivate people, to get people to do things, even though they are being paid to do it. You need to be able to hold teams together. Conflicts will happen. I mean, even within an individual, within a person, conflicts happen. Conflicts. You have double mind. You want to do this, but your body wants to do this, your mind wants to do the other one. You're conflicted within yourself. Now imagine 2 persons. It increases astronomically. It increases exponentially, rather. By the time you double persons, the potential for conflicts begin to increase. Now this person is conflicted within himself. He's with another person who is conflicted within themselves. You get the point, right? This person has a different idea. Conflict doesn't mean they are fighting, they're boxing, punching each other in the face. No. It could just be conflict of opinion. It could just be conflict of interest. It could be conflict of expectations. It could be conflict of responsibilities. It could be conflict of resources. I need to use this tool right now. No, I need to use that tool right now. That's a conflict. Is that one tool? The project manager needs to be able to harmonize people to work effectively and collaboratively on the team. All right? All this is aimed at enhancing performance so that you can deliver your project within budget, on time, on schedule, which is on time, and to the expected quality. All right? Okay, so performance monitoring, that is not leadership, that is management. Continuous performance monitoring is essential for project success. By tracking progress against milestones and adjusting strategies as needed, the plant project manager can ensure that project stays on track and meets its objective. You need to constantly check the amount of work done and the amount of work not done, the value of work done and the value of work not done. How much do we have left in the budget? Is it enough to complete this project at the end? Oh, this is what this project is costing us now. So what is this project going to cost by the time it finishes? Is that expected cost within the range that has been budgeted for this project, or are we going to need to get some more money from the sponsor? Wait, this is how fast we're going on this project. If we continue at this pace, will we even finish this project when the client needs it? Are we going to need to increase our pace? If we need to increase our pace, how do we do that? Do we need to do more work in parallel? Do we need to add more people to the job to increase? Meanwhile, adding people doesn't necessarily mean your job is going to get faster. Sometimes it becomes slower. So these are questions that the project manager has to constantly juggle in this job to deliver what it needs to deliver on time and on budget and to the required quality. Expectation. So what is our conclusion? In a nutshell, I try to keep this as short as possible. You could see that there is a lot I could talk about here, but I kept them down because there is so much. I will have to make other videos for this. Mastering the role of a plant project manager requires a blend of your technical knowledge. You need to know technical project management. I told you about the PMI talent triangle, technical project management. You need to know what are the techniques that you can apply to get things done as a project manager. What are the planning techniques? What are the communication techniques? What are the management techniques? What are the leadership influencing techniques? What are the tools that you can apply to get people to work? What are the tools you can apply to get work to be done on track? What are the tools you can apply to monitor, to measure work? Right? How do you engage your stakeholders? You need to have this technical knowledge, not necessarily technical of the project, like the area. That is also good. Like if you're managing an engineering project, it's helpful if you have some knowledge of engineering. Yeah. But after a while, some project managers will tend to forget some of this stuff about engineering. They're no longer experts in engineering, but they become experts in project management. So they are experts in the project management techniques, not in engineering techniques anymore. Like you could see, like tell me to tell you some of those laws of physics and engineering now. I probably can't list all of them for you anymore like I would have done by the time I was in secondary school, the time I was in the university, because after a while I stopped using them. Let's be honest with ourselves. We forget a lot of those stuffs after a while. I should stop focusing on them. But you become an expert in project management techniques. You blend that techniques with your ability to connect with people, interpersonal skills. I told you got to be a people's person. By implementing these strategies, you can enhance your effectiveness and drive successful project outcomes. All right. It's been a good talk. Like I say again, hit the subscribe button to hear more. There is a lot of other stuff I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about project engineering. I'm going to talk about deeper stuff about project management itself. This is just an overview. You can follow us on Fentropy Teaches on Instagram. We put slides of the presentation there as well. All right. Okay. Until I see you in the next presentation. Thank you. Once again, hit the subscribe button to get more. Hit the like button to support the effort. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.